Thank you, Deborah, for having me, and thank you for putting this on last night. I was very moved. It's an incredible theater, but it got a little cold and a little windy, so it was a little difficult to see. The movie is made for an indoor experience, and it's strange to see it outdoors for me. It's like a drive-in theater. If you remember the drive-in theaters in America, anyway, in the 1950s, it was for rough fare. I mean, it's hard to get intimate with a big screen like that. So I was wrestling with the movie last night, and I wanted to recut some things. But the sound was impeccable and great. But you know, I've been wrestling with this movie since for many years. But the 2004 version was flawed. I rushed it because I had a marketing date to meet, and I couldn't break the contract. I would have been in deep water, in a lot of hot water, and I was an hour over. I wanted to make the movie longer, because the original intention of the man's life is enormous. He lived a life that is even bigger than a movie. It's really a two-part movie, like the old roadshow epics of the 1950s. I mean, you need to have an intermission, because the first half you set up the story, which is the classic roadshow. You set up all the characters, you set up the feeling, and then the second half you pay it off. And unfortunately, a lot of people didn't get to see the second half, so last night. But the second half is where the story comes home for me. The story of Alexander, in essence, and I'm making it very short, is his journey was a complex one. His internal life, his home life in Greece, in Macedonia, was very conflicted by his relationships with his mother and his father. He was torn. He was torn in two. And by going into the outer world, the exterior world, conquering the world essentially, and trying to unify it, he was trying to bring together his mother and his father and himself in a form of going back, so to speak, to the womb, trying to bring life into its original circle. And I really think he tried that, and the thing about Alexander, unlike any other soldier or explorer, is he kept wanting to go on and on and on. So at the end of the movie, the generals, everybody around him is exhausted. They don't want to go on because their lives are at stake, and they have money, they made the world, they become materialists, and they want to go home to Macedonia, or they want to go home to their provinces where they're going to be kings and leaders. So Alexander's the only one who has pothos. Pothos is a Greek expression for this eternal dissatisfaction, this eternal yearning to see what was above the horizon. It's a great story, and I hope the movie does a little bit, just a little bit, to explore the breadth and the depth of this man.